Okay, Capricorn, Happy New Year. Hope your Christmas season went well. We are this is my 7-year anniversary, so I'm kind of making a thing with new graphics and whatnot. So thanks for joining me. We're going to get right into the cards here with the Isis Oracle. So, here we go. First card, Capricorn, for you for 2024. The Flower of Life. Wow. Divine creativity and manifestation. This is a very powerful, energetic card. I'm getting a lot of downloads. We have the Lotus. This is all... okay. I'm going to have to process all of this. First thing I see here is that lotus flower. And the lotus flower comes from the darkness of life. It blooms such a beautiful vision, is what I'm getting. So this, oh, here goes my cat. I'm so sorry, but I can't let her in. And so anyway, the Flower of Life, divine creativity and manifestation. Again, a lot of energy on these words. Creativity may be high for you at this time. We may have a lot of creative juices flowing within us at this point. Manifestation as well, it can be at its peak, is what they said. We're very powerful and pertinent in our life at this time. Now, give me a moment, because they're showing me the falcon. Now, is this like a... because I'm getting messages coming in. Now, this bird is sitting nicely. This woman has her eyes closed, and the protection symbol is there. So there's a sense that spiritually we are protected to take the right path. And we may be getting messages from our guides and whatnot that is keeping us stable in and amongst some other things. So again, the first thing I saw was the lotus flower, and that insinuates overcoming darkness. But we may have a lot of darkness around us, but we are protected and we are overcoming that at this time. And there may be continuing messages coming in to support that. And we may need that in order to stay balanced, is what I get. So the Flower of Life, very powerful, energetic card. And it being the first and most powerful, this is the message. We're protected, okay? And we're also being guided. And to follow that guidance, we will stay in the clear kind of thing, is the sense that I'm getting. Next card is the abundance of Sothis, stellar blessings of the celestial goddess of abundance. So may abundance shower upon you is the sense that I'm getting. So we're doing something really right here. I feel like we are right locked in with our instinct, with our a higher self. Everything is, how do you say, locked in. It's locked in. We're locked in with the right energy field. We're doing the right thing, focusing on the right stuff. We're very powerful at manifesting at this time, and we're also being given an abundance of creativity at this time, is what I get. And the abundance is going to come more and more as we follow this train of thought in the proper manner. They gave me the word Jerusalem, so this may be significant to someone here. The Star of David is what I'm thinking, and then they just said Jerusalem. So I don't know if that's just what's going on there. Yeah, we may have links to our lineage into Jerusalem in some kind of manner. Okay, next card. Dipping into the future here. What do we get? Divine Sisterhood, community of the spiritual sisters and brothers of light. So, we're on the road here. We've locked into a frequency that is going to carry us in a good way, is a sense. And even though we may be coming from darkness, I feel like we're being pulled out of that by our guidance. And we're going to be, drop nicely into a frequency where there are people that we can share our heart and soul with. I feel like your soul clan is being gathered up to meet you, to greet you in the future. This is the future card. Now, give me a moment. We're going to be meeting a lot of people that are different from us, because they're making me aware of the one sister with the book on her head and the other one with the moon. I feel like we're going to be meeting people that are very different from us, but very similar in a heart-centered kind of way. They're of good-natured being, but yet different viewpoints, different ideals, different, this kind of thing. But in this case, different is good, is what I'm getting. Yeah, we may have different thought processes, how we carry out things in the world and whatnot. But again, this is all part of a soul grouping that is coming together here. On certain levels, it'll be undeniable that these people, though they are different from us, they are very much something we feel at home with on a certain type of level. There's an uncomfort here, but it's not anything that is bad. It's an uncomfort because we're not used to dealing with people in such a way, from maybe the bare core of our heart, this kind of thing. So this is all good stuff. This is definitely on the light path, is what I'm picking up. So here we go. Next line. Just lining up the cards here. So we're getting into the chakra system here. On the flower of life, it's kind of like the sun card times 10. You know, it's like your life is flowering in the best possible way. We're seeing the light. We're utilizing things. We're getting creative hits. And we're following all of this. I feel no resistance whatsoever, so that's a good flow. So on top of that flower of life, we get the chakra card of the 5 of Cups. Okay. Interestingly enough, I feel like we may have come from a past of disappointment, a lot of heavy sorrow, and heavy feelings is the sense. So we maybe or had to overcome something in this way of an emotional nature. I feel though it's interesting because going back to the flower of life, they're showing me with that woman with the eyes closed, I feel like we are closing ourselves to our past. Our past no longer serves us in any way, and I feel like we have realized that there was a lot of disappointment that come from there. Not a lot of good to come from, but the 1 cup here in the middle is standing out to me, and it's like, though it may be empty, we're going to fill that, and we're going to continue to go forward. And that may be even our self-worth in some kind of way. I feel like we had to overcome something huge in our past. Yeah. And there's 3 cups built, and 2 of cups is a partnership. So again, this may be the cause of grief or something to look forward to in the future. I feel like we're going to use all our energy to fill our own cup and then go outward to find other people in this way. And it is destined because we got the brotherhood, sisterhood card. So that's telling me that we will come across people that we are, one, fated to be with, but also of deeper, we've learned something here from our past. And I feel a great closing of the door, and now we are free to go into a better type of future. And I feel like that Falcon is the messenger of good things in the future. That's what I get. Okay, 5 of Cups is complicated. Okay, but again, in the past, we're not going to go there. So the abundance of Sotha, stellar blessings of the celestial goddess of abundance. There's a lot of abundance here waiting on you, for you. I feel like we've latched onto the proper frequency to pick up the proper rewards, if you will. It's like, when you go in, you have a coat check, and then you can't find your coat, but you know it's in there, and you can't get. I feel like that's our past. It's like I lost my ticket. Now we got the ticket. We go in, we pick up our coats, everything's there. Off we go into our future. It's kind of like we were at a stall, and now we're free to go. Is the sense that I get. So we may have overcome some karma here, or some kind of heavy life lesson. Okay, so on top of that card, the chakra card we get is the 6 of Wands. Yeah, and we did so successfully. We managed to pull it off, is what they're saying. So, Yeah, it's about victory, success, rewards, accolades, incoming is what they said. There's a lot coming at us at this time, and it may be overwhelming, the amount, because it may be quite the spiritual shock that we're going through, because I feel like, I feel like in our life at this time, we're suddenly been open to reality. We thought it was a certain way. It's not that way. The doors have been open for us to see the sunlight. It's like we've been in a cave and all of a sudden we're coming out to sunlight, and it's overwhelming. It's really warm, and, and we're used to being cold and blah, blah, blah. So it's very different, but it's very good different. This is the Six of Wands. Yeah. They're showing me that lotus again. And it's from all that muck and mud and everything that is kind of slimy in the swamp. And it's the most beautiful thing you can see. So this is really what I'm getting, is a high contrast here of where we were to where we're headed. And it may be so much so that we have a hard time accepting it. But don't let that run the show. Accept all of this, because we would not receive it if we are not deserving. They do not allow it to flow through. So, Divine Sisterhood, as we get into the future, the chakra card there we get is the Queen of Wands. Now, all of these cards are in blue and indigo. So, the blue is a need to speak, and the indigo, the throat and the third eye. Give me a moment here. The Queen of Wands, that can be a character in your life. That could be someone you're coming across. That could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sag, that we feel comfortable with. There may be a Queen of Wands in the upright, they said. That is a fire element that is coming forth to us in our future to be one of our spiritual brothers or sisters. So that would be, it doesn't necessarily have to be a fire element, but it's someone that has the chutzpah and the spark to kind of lead the way with us. Not only that, someone that stands out to us from a grouping of people that, I want to get to know this person. I like the spunk they got. I like what they carry. There's something about them that the Capricorn is looking at going, I admire that. I treasure that in that person, and I want to embellish. And there's a sense of activity through this. I feel like this Queen of Wands brings about something that the Capricorn cannot on their own. Not that they cannot. It's just they don't. It's out of their character to do that. But they admire that in the other person. And the Queen of Wands upright, she's beautiful. When she enters a room, everybody notices. She's very gregarious. She goes outward and she communicates with people. She doesn't let fear hold her back in any scenario. And if it's a room you got to mingle with, she's the one that's seen everybody. She's talking to every little person there, and she's going to get the, the 411 on everybody, and she's going to know by the end of the night everybody that was there and their story. She takes a genuine interest in people. And this may be something that comes at us that is very enlivening as well. We may be hit by the Queen of Wands in a way that they took an interest in us. And we find that enchanting kind of thing is what I'm getting. Yeah, being enchanted by the Queen of Wands in the future. Okay, here we go. As we get into the House of Night cards. Yeah, on top of the Five of Cups, again, we came from a dark past that is being washed away, and new clean energy is coming forth. We are locked into is really what I get. So there's something here about our belief system or having unwavering strength in a certain depth of spirituality here that has locked us in to yes, I will go forward here, and in this case it is protecting us from anything of our past that is bad, as long as we stay on these lines type thing. On top of that Five of Cups, we get the Vision card. Yeah, wow. So that just ups the ante on all of the creative abilities that are coming. We may be being washed over with so many ideas coming in like waterfalls of intuition, like I say, creative. If we're a creative person or we have some kind of an artistic flair, this is going to be vamped up times 10. We're just really, it's almost like the gates of heaven have opened up for this person, and they're being electrified with everything that had been taken away from them, or there was a point where they were going down the wrong path. Now they're going down the right path, and all the doors are open. This is kind of the sense I get at like a really overflowing, overwhelming, incoming channel here. Vision will be part of that. We may have a clairvoyant channel here that is opened up, and this may be something that we don't have a lot of experience with, frankly, is a sense. Capricorn being grounded, they like to deal with the things in the solid state. So all of these visions that they may be getting in their head is throwing them off. But do not fear. This is for your highest good, and it's also to inform you of things. This is part of your protection factor. A lot of these visions are here to protect you. You foresee it, and they're going, but there's an ability to not believe what we see. So be careful there. You're going to have to search your gut and your instinct as to, because I feel like the Capricorn may be getting messages from a visual nature about their future if they go in certain directions, but they may not believe this, but they are connected highly and they are following guidance, and as long as they keep doing that, they will go along the right lines. But there's something here about the vision. We may have people in our life veiling themselves, and we get visions contrary to this, so we're having a hard time accepting that because the visions aren't adding up to the reality. But this will make sense down the road when we get more proof of this. In certain kind of ways, there's a protection factor that's trying to kick in here. And I feel like we're latching onto the right side, so it's all down the road to wisdom, right? So the Six of Wands, on top of that energy, the House of Night card we get is love. Okay. Victory in love, abundance in love. I feel like at present, this, it's like a bubble of energy that just hasn't popped on us yet. I feel like there's a potential for love, but again, this card warns, be careful of the heart of stone. Be careful of shutting our heart valve off. Make sure that we come from heart, and we will receive heart back. If we shut our heart off, we get all of that. So, I do feel like abundance is going to wash over us in some kind of way. I do feel we're victorious. And when we clarify, it says, where are we victorious? In the love direction. As long as we don't turn our heart to stone, everything will be fine. We got to listen to our heart center more. I feel like they're showing me like percentages, like from the past. There's 0% of our heart had anything to do to lead us in the future. At this point, we need at least 51% in order to make the right decisions going forward. Sorry about my cat. It's my cat. She just... I know, Nico. You go lay down. So the Heart of Stone is the only threat here. But there's too many victorious cards to tell me that this is going to overwhelm us in that way. And there's too much contrast here to go back into something that would precipitate having a Heart of Stone. So as we go into the future, what do we get here? We get Divine Sisterhood. Again, there's going to be people from our future coming in and making connections. One may be a Queen of Wands, someone who's very active, very... it's like a global to us. We just kind of want to watch where they go, what they do, and we get a kick out of how they deal with life and whatnot. There's something that this person carries that the Capricorn feels they don't carry. They can develop it, but they don't on their own, or they haven't naturally, and they admire that in that person, and they're very attracted to that, is what I'm getting. Now, on top of the Queen of Wands, we get invisible. Okay. But we may be feeling invisible to that person at this time, is the sense. Give me a moment here. I feel like this person that we're attracted to him for a reason. And the reason is to embellish our soul. Like these people that wash in and out of our life, they're attracted, they either for a lesson, like a season, a reason, or a lifetime, right? So they're in there to refresh you of something, to help you with something, and it could be all those qualities that you see you don't have. They may come in your life, help you adapt your own set of those qualities, and then veer out. Or they could come in your life, help you adapt, and right, season, lifetime. It depends on your own vision for that. It's any way you want it to go. The invisible factor here, I feel like we feel invisible to this person. This may be someone they're looking at from afar, is the sense, and because of this, we feel invisible because we can't physically connect, is the sense. Something of admiration here. We're admiring a Queen of Wands that is in her own power, but we don't feel connected to them on all levels, though we do feel a similarity, but we want to dive in more. So that's where we leave the reading here, but we have some clarification cards. There seems to be some loving feelings erupting here. We've been through a hard time. We're clinging to the right energies. We're following the right guidance. As long as we keep tiptoeing down that road, we're going to come across good things, is the sense, whether it's a Queen of Wands or what have you. Something in the future. We feel invisible to these things, but we're also in a spiritual shock where we are still adjusting to parameters of being black, going from black to white. So this is very blinding for us. So it's kind of like a shock center, and I feel like that invisible may become more visible once we get out of the shell shock factor here. Okay, so clarification. We have the Native Spirit, and again a power surrender card, to see if there's anything that they want to illuminate that you may need to work on. And the power surrender card is your fear of intimacy. Okay. Yeah, that may be... See, this attaches quite highly to that invisible card, because look at her put her head down and her eyes aren't even visible. It's like, I don't want to be seen to you, is the sense that I get. I don't want to be seen by the Queen of Wands. Yet, I admire them, and I there's a lot of good, vibrant feelings there, but it's like I don't want to be seen by them. And I don't know if this is a self-worth issue, but nonetheless, surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. And there's the love of, the heart of stone. So we may be coming from a heart of stone and learning to open that, but feeling very insecure in doing so, feeling very naked. I get that feeling like I can't admit I like this person because I feel naked. And it's like they're going to turn to me and laugh. That's what I get. And yeah, that's that fear of intimacy. A fear of letting anybody in because they may betray us. Just, that's a common fear. Okay, not much more to say there. There's a lot of pink here. So there's a lot of softening of the heart the universe is working on you with. All we can do is follow that. If we get, and just have the strength to take a hit if you need to in this department. Because, frankly, the Queen of Wands... Okay, just let me tap in here. I feel the need to go a little further on this Queen. Okay, I'm going to take the invisibility, because the power behind this Queen of Wands is the divine sisterhood. So there is some kind of a link. There's some kind of a universal attraction that is helping you. There's a reason, again, that you're attracted to this person. And it could be a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And again, that all depends on how you go about this relationship. And it can either be a relationship or it could not be one. And that too is up to you. And it says, a community of spiritual sisters and brothers of light. I do feel we're on the same frequency. So if we're on the rise, that person is also on the rise. They're not of a different they're not of darkness. They're not. And I also feel like she's got a high guidance system as well that she listens to. And she may too have come out of darkness, is the sense that I get. We may have someone here that is mirroring us in some kind of way. They're kind of in a spiritual phase similar to us. This is why the attraction. And we can learn how to heal through this person, is the sense, if we have the courage to do so. If we don't, we just, forfeit that opportunity. I feel like this is a mirror to us. So whenever we have mirrors, it's just someone there to contribute insight in another person. If we don't self-reflect, they'll put a reflection outside of you so that you can see exactly where you are and understand it from a different viewpoint. Because that person, you may not want to talk about any of your past. You may not even want to deal with it. But the universe will put a mirror in front of you so that you kind of deal with it through that person. You can open up. Some people have an easier time opening up to others rather than opening up to self. And they will do that in that way to get you over that. So, in essence, this person could help you heal from everything that they may be going through in a similar way. In another person. Because if we can't do it to heal ourselves, they'll put a mirror outside of you. And then, you have someone spouting it to you. And then you can open up. It's more of a safety valve. Then you can open up. It's like, yeah, I'm going through the same thing. Or I had a similar instance. And then you can both bleed out your emotions. And this may be what that Queen of Wands, why you're attracted. Okay. I just felt the need to go there. We do feel invisible, however, at this point. And in the future, we feel invisible to this person. And I feel that is our choice to stay that way. I feel we want to be hidden from this person because we may not have... We're not on the field here where we can open our heart and be a sponge rather than a rock. We still feel like we're transitioning. And again, we're still in shock and we don't know how to deal with that. And again, we have a fear of intimacy, so we don't want to open up. And we may not know enough about this queen to allow ourselves to go in that way. So, Native Spirit card, I'm going to read from the book. We have the Shapeshifter. Oh, interesting. Okay, the moon. So there's illusions here. Some way or another. Let's go into it. Okay, the Shapeshifter. That kind of threatens the whole reading. But nonetheless, I'll... overview here, because I get the, from instinct, I get the darkness, I get the moon is always about illusions, always about things that are hidden. So maybe we have, again, we're attached to instinct in the proper manner. So we may have an instinct of this, and this is why we're invisible, because we don't want to open up until we know for sure. Okay, so the card meaning. You can be anything you desire. Let go of attachment to your identity. See the world around you with new eyes. Be malleable. Experiment with different ways of viewing reality. See the point of view of others. And I was getting that highly. With this soul that we're attracted to, I feel like we're meant to... I think it's in our nature to focus on other people and help them heal. That's part of our projected path. But I feel that particular one will actually help us heal in ways that we're not thinking about. And that's kind of the way the universe tricks you into healing, is they show someone that's going through the same motions outside of you, and then what do you know, you kind of heal through things inadvertently through that other person. Again, be malleable. Experiment with different ways of viewing reality. See the point of view of others. If you haven't been able to manifest your dreams, maybe you need to shift the way you see the person or a situation. Your native spirits want you to know. In earth-based cultures, shapeshifters had the mystical ability to transform into other forms of consciousness. It's said that these beings were not imaginary, that they were changing into a specific animal, plant, or stone, and they could actually morph into another shape. Just because most people today don't think this is possible doesn't mean that it's not true. This card chose you because it wants you to know that your past, look at this, does not need to equal your future. And I feel that very highly here, like a deep break from our past. Like a branching off. Like, yeah, a branching off. Just because people today don't think it's possible doesn't mean it's not true. This card chose you because it wants you to know that your past does not equal your future. Simply shifting your point of view or your belief system can bring an entirely new destiny into being. So we may feel like our path controls us. Even though we're breaking free of it, again, we're still in the phase of unbelieving, overwhelmment, so much coming in. It's not, and I've been broken from this myself. I had a point in my life where there's just a lot of dark energy surrounding me. There's depression and all of this, right? So you're in that mode, and while you're in it, you can't see you're in it. You don't know how bad it is. You're just in it. It's just everything you see. And then when you bubble out of that, however you manage to do it, for me, it was getting off medication. I had to clear my mind. I had to utilize my soul free of that. Not everybody can do that in this day and age. But for me, there was always something inside me telling me you can't survive doing things this way. So I stopped doing things that way, and I in essence, I thought I was fighting for my own life in a certain way. And once you come above the clouds and straighten your system out in whatever way you choose to do, and again, there was an inner force driving me in this way, you begin to see the world differently, and the world begins to react to you differently. But it's got to happen from the inside out, and it did happen from the inside out. Enough for me to see that change, and it was so drastic that things, like I had perpetual, it was like if I didn't have bad luck, I had no luck at all. And when you're used to that default, that's the way you live in darkness, you feel like when things start going right, it's like, okay, who's going to come with a bat and beat me over the head? Like, what's going on here? Like it's almost like you can't accept the new world because it's so, you're getting stuff and you almost feel like you're undeserving. So it's a lot of this is what I'm feeling like this person is going through this cycle, and it's what you do have to do is work on yourself to the degree is like, yes, I do deserve this, and I've been through enough hell that I can accept. That was my point where I said I've been through enough. I can start gaining some stuff. But the more that it comes in, the more you feel undeserving. So you really have to work on that self-worth to say, yes, I do deserve this, and I do deserve this, and I do deserve that. And to not be greedy about it, but to accept the universe as it gives to you. Because you're doing things right here. And you're being rewarded. And the rewards do not come universally if you are not deserving. So, the journey. To deepen your ability to shapeshift, simply imagine that you're an animal, bird, plant, or stone. And be careful with this for the experimenters. Don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. Make it as real as you can. Doing this deepens your ability to shift your beliefs and limiting decisions that perhaps have held you back from fulfilling your highest destiny. And I have to give a caveat here, because I'm picking up on people who may be in the spiritual world wanting to go beyond limits. I'm all for that, but we have to stay on the light side. Again, these heavy threats for people in darkness at this time, and we're pulled into the light, so we're starting to get a feed of what the universe can really be like for us. So I think they're saying put yourself in nature. In a sense, it's kind of like, I think the overall tone of this card is to put yourself in other people's shoes, is to see from other people's eyes, and then that shift in itself can take us out of any patterns that we may have had from our past, because we may have had a negative pattern, and they are hard to break. I know this, because you go good for so long, and then you go back on, and then you go good, and then you go back on, and because it's habitual. So you have to really strive to be conscious and aware every minute of the day to stop yourself from going back to, whether it's thought processes, whether it's negative thinking in the way of beating on the self, or going, yeah, things don't work out for me, that kind of thing. It's just like, instead of saying, like, one of the things I had to do is like, yeah, figures, that's what happened. That was one of my sayings. It's like, yeah, figures, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Guess what? It dropped. And now I say things just work out for me. And I accentuate that when things are good. Like, if I have something that happens that's kind of above and beyond, like, say your appointment is, you have a doctor's appointment, whatever, and it's for 2:30, and then you get in quarter two, or like 15 minutes before, then you go, yeah, and then you get out, and then, you have more time to do other stuff, and things just work out for me. And I accentuate that with my mind. You pinpoint those moments instead of pinpointing the bad. That's just one thing you can do. And shapeshifter, yeah, be careful. Some people may go crazy with that. But, give me a moment here, because the first energy I was getting, again, is this could be my addiction to all the good, and then there's got to be a bad to go with it. It could be that, just me alone looking at this reading going, this is all great and wonderful. We're going out of darkness into light. We got to open our heart a little bit. We got to remove our fear of intimacy, and there's a sector here we want to go into. We feel invisible, but at this time, that's kind of an open door. We can go in or not. Give me a moment, because there's something more they want to pull from this card. No, this is like a deer, an elk, or whatever. Standing in purple. Purple is all guidance from above. He is guided. This deer is guided. And he's also curious, but I see the purple flowers as a barrier between what he sees and where he's at. And there's an apprehensiveness here to go, because we don't know. It's a mystery, this new world, how we're dealing in it. We know it feels better and all of that, but there's still illusions abound. So that's what's encompassing here. We have a fear that we're not seeing straight because we're in shock. We're in spiritual shock, and it's okay. They said, just let it wash over you. Accept all that you can accept at this point. Fill your own cup, right? Gain the confidence where we feel steadfast that, yes, I am going to go to this Queen of Wands, and I am going to ask her, and I am going to, pick her brain, and we're going to discuss things, and da-da-da. Where you feel confident. Don't go when you feel sheepish, because then there's more ability to make errors there, is what they're saying. So fill your confidence first, and then go outward where you feel. And they're showing the flowers here in the shapeshifter card. Like, I see that as a barrier for that deer to go to the Queen of Wands. And then they show me a break. Like, there's a little pathway that's worn down from others going, and they're gonna find it. They haven't found it yet in this card, but maybe he takes 10 steps to the left or the right, or whatever it comes up on the screen, and he finds that gateway, because this is the path is to find brothers and sisters in your way. But I think we have to get through our fear of intimacy, and we have to deal with some kind of self-worth here in order to go in there successfully, is what they say. So, wow. Okay, Capricorn, that was heavy and deep, but very, what's the word? It starts with a P. Is it P? Promising. There it is. I'm like, P is like professional? No, promising. Yeah. Okay. I think you'll you'll attain all that you want to attain here, but we just have some areas in the heart center. I feel like the unwrapping of the rock heart, and also, you know, that is attached to the fear of intimacy, is heavy here. Again, compassionately identify things that we feel compassionate about. I think we have done this. It's just a matter of releasing old patterns that stop you from opening your heart. And that, I feel, as we open our social circle to the new energy instead of the old, I think this will become very clear to us how to do it and how. And again, we will feel more confident. So just go down that road. Keep going down the road of connecting to the higher power, and you will come across all that you need to be. We feel invisible at this time, but again, there's just a huge shock factor here I've not come across before. We are in shock, and we're kind of not released from this, and this may be universally put in order to make it go a little smoother. But as long as we're being conscious about things as much as we can, we will continue to go down the road properly. Yeah. Belief systems is what it is. Okay, Capricorn, that is your spiritual reading for 2024. Take care, have fun, and be kind. And Happy New Year.